Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having an awesome day. I'm Craig, and I'm on this new channel of mine called Average Tech Fan. The reason I named it that is anybody who knows me from my regular travel and lifestyle channel, Cruising Off Duty, knows I buy a lot of gear. Way too much of my disposable money is spent on cameras, gimbals, drones, you name it. I just love tech. And even things that don't have anything to do with filming, like my iPad 12.9 inch here, my iPad Pro, I just love it. I recently bought a new iMac Pro to do video editing in 4K easier. People want to know about that. But unfortunately, people who subscribe to the Sailing Lifestyle channel don't all want to know about tech. They don't maybe care what camera I'm using or what drone I'm using to film it. They just want to see beautiful footage of sailing and whatever else going on in my travel and lifestyle channel. So that's why I've designed this channel to be where I go when I buy new gear and I'm excited about it. This is the channel I'm going to bring it to. And since I hope you're a tech fan like me, or you probably wouldn't be watching this, I'm going to show you what I like about the products I bought and what I don't like, whether it's worth buying or just skip it. So I'm sorry I ever bought it. I've got a few products like that I bought that I just collect dust now because I never use them, and I'll let you know about that so you don't waste your money. Today was supposed to be the inaugural episode where I'm going to talk about my cameras. First episode was supposed to be about cameras, second episode was supposed to be all the lenses I use, third episode was supposed to be about drones, fourth episode was supposed to be about my new computer setup for video editing, and then I was going to go on to more normal tech. In case you're not into video making and all that stuff, I was going to be into tablets, phones, you name it. If it's tech, I wanted to cover it here. I was going to either beg, borrow, or steal. Well, maybe not steal. I don't condone stealing. Beg, borrow, or acquire as much tech as I can and get it on this channel. I may not own it. It might be a friend of mine has bought something new. I know my buddy Terry's bought some new drones that I don't have. We're going to bring him on here. We're going to show a bunch of different drones. It's going to be awesome. Doesn't mean I necessarily have to buy it, but I can get a feel for whether I should buy it or would buy it if I wanted a drone at that time. This episode was supposed to be about cameras, everything from my GoPros to my iPhone 10, which I used in my scuba series, to my GH4, to my GH5 that I'm filming on. And then I had to buy something before I started the channel to do these product placement, you know, the lovely sliding footage of the product from all angles. So I went out and bought a slider before I started this episode, and it arrived today. And this is where I'm going to show you that if you send me a piece of crap, I'm going to tell the world that it's a piece of crap. The one I bought off of Amazon was a 47-inch aluminum slider by Neewer, N-E-E-W-E-R. I got it. It showed up in a box, cardboard box. Inside that cardboard box is this padded case. So you would think there is no way in the world through all of that padding that that slider would show up broken. But somehow or other, a solid aluminum slider showed up with one leg snapped off. Okay, we all know what it's like. We know with Amazon it's awesome. Tell them you don't like it, tell them it's not good, tell them whatever reason. They let you print off this thing, you stick it on the box, bring it to your post office, no charge to you, you ship it back, easy as pie, right? But it's just a pain in the butt. You get something, I've got Amazon Prime, so it comes pretty quick. So I'm not waiting weeks like I bought it on eBay, but nonetheless, you wait a couple of days, it shows up, you get all excited, you open it, it doesn't work, or it's broken. Pain in the butt. So I'm going to show you that instead of my cameras today. I'm going to show you this Neewer slider, and this episode is probably going to be called "You Get What You Pay For." Neewer is I've got Neewer lights, I've got Neewer other things, and they are definitely on Amazon the lowest price items. And sometimes if I just need a light, like the lights that are on behind me or behind the camera, I will buy just something basic because I just need some light. I don't need it to be like super ultra professional if I'm just getting a little bit more light in the room. So Neewer works for those sort of things. But in a case like a slider, where things like smoothness of flow and maybe noise and things like that are important, you maybe don't want to buy the cheapest thing you can find. Also, you don't want to buy something that shows up with one leg missing. Needless to say, a three-legged stabilizer is not a good thing to have. So I printed off the Amazon thing, and it'll go back right after I'm done filming this, because we're going to do this episode on this Neewer, and then off to the post office it goes. I've ordered another slider, and I'll talk about that when it shows up. It's going to be a carbon fiber slider. I've decided to take my own advice here and don't go with the cheapest thing just to get the job done. Pay a little bit more money. I didn't pay a lot more money, but I paid a little bit more money for the same idea. But instead of aluminum, it's going to be carbon fiber, which should make it quieter, hopefully maybe smoother, just better. So we'll cover that when I get it, but right now I'm going to show you this Neewer. I'm going to show you how I would use it if it didn't show up broken. by showcasing this product right here, which I'm not doing a review on this product, but I'm just gonna film it to show you how it'll look by using a slider. So let's get to that now. Okay, let's look at this Neewer 47-inch slider and why I bought it, what I plan to use it for. First of all, let's just point out what a leg should look like. Ta-da! An cast aluminum leg with a little adjustment screw to make it longer if you're on uneven ground. You know, does the job, right? It doesn't swing down like some of them do. You'll look, if you watch reviews of other sliders, a lot of times they have a hinged leg that you can bring down. This one's just completely solid. So, you know, right away, that's not super high end, but it'll get the job done. That's what the legs are supposed to look like. Let's go to the other side and see what the leg actually looks like. Ta-da! See this? Completely snapped off. Nothing I can do to fix that. And in this case, I've got it up on a tripod. The slider right now mounted on a tripod. So if I was only ever going to use it this way, then having 3 out of 4 legs might not be such a bad thing, I guess. But I do plan to put it on the ground to get those low-level shots from some time. And what the heck? I paid full price for this. I didn't get it from the scratch and dent bin. And I expect 4 legs. So yeah, it's going back. You know, on the tripod, it really doesn't matter that it's missing a leg. So when you get the slider, it comes with a threaded pin or a 1/4 inch under there, which then you have to have your own ball head for your camera so you can change the angle of your camera. Because if you don't, you just mount your camera straight to the slider. You don't have any ability to move the lens up or down or anything like that. So you definitely want to put a ball head on here. Now I took one off my more reasonably good quality tripods, so you don't need something this fancy for a slider, but it's what I have right now. The new one I'm buying actually comes with a basic tiny slider, which should be better than me taking a good ball head off of a good tripod. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this along the slider, and you'll notice this is the reason I bought it. Is this little track you see in the middle is actually designed so that as you move the camera across, the camera actually turns. It's not a normal slider. A normal slider, this bar wouldn't be there and it would just slide sideways, and the camera would be in whatever angle you started with is the same angle it's going to be all the way along. And that's why I spent a little bit more money in terms of Neewer's products to get this one that's got what they call a follow focus, or I've also heard it called a parallax adjustment. Follow focus makes the most sense. You start off pointing at an object from the right hand side, and then you slide across and it starts to point at it from the opposite side. That is the general plan, but yeah, I'm not going to end up keeping this one anyway. But the next one I have is going to be carbon fiber. Same idea. It's going to have a third carbon fiber. It's going to have a carbon fiber rail here, a carbon fiber rail here, and a third carbon fiber rail in the middle, doing the exact same thing as this. In principle, it should work just as well. One thing I'm also noticing too, because it's aluminum, this is as loosened off as it can be here. This little adjustment is what tightens it. Like if you want to lock it down, you tighten it here and now it won't move. But you don't want it obviously tight when you're trying to slide it. So you loosen it off completely, but listen to the sound. So if you happen to have a shotgun microphone on here, if you're trying to do one of these where you're listening to nature as you slide away from a tree and you're starting to point at the lake and all that, and you want that nice sideways motion, this is not going to work because all that sound of the aluminum rubbing on aluminum is definitely going to show up in your shotgun microphone that would probably be mounted right here. I guess the only way to get around that is to have an external microphone away from your camera that's picking up the sounds of nature, and then your slider here would be just for the footage and your audio would come from a separate source. Something that's carbon fiber will probably be more sound deadened. It won't be this metal on metal rubbing sound. Let's look at the footage that comes from my GH4. I'm filming this with my GH5, but this camera is my backup camera, my GH4, and I'm going to film that stabilizer with this slider, and we'll show you what it looks like. And then you'd probably want to do it more than once, maybe even from the other angle a little faster. Do a slow one. You can always speed it up in post-processing. Notice that the slider is so heavy that as you move from side to side, it actually starts to lean away. And this is with my tripod not fully extended to the highest level. I tried the sliding again, this time making the tripod taller, and boy, can you really see the shaking and the leaning when you get it that high up. This slider at 47 inches long and made entirely out of aluminum is just way too heavy in my opinion. After going back and forth, I've tried a couple of lenses. I started off with a wide angle lens. Obviously, it's not really that clear or that sharp, so I put in this other lens. But we're talking about the slider here, and the one thing I have noticed is it's just way too long for one thing, because once you get way over here or way over here, your subject, the camera almost turns too far. Your subject actually starts to leave the frame, which might be a cool look. But it's also when you're far away, if you're zoomed in, or if you're getting a perfect focus, and then you get to the middle, you might be almost too close, and then you get to the end, you're almost too far. Another thing you might want to notice here is it's so heavy because it's made of aluminum. With the weight of the ball head and the camera, it's so heavy that the slider actually starts to lean from side to side when it's on a tripod. As it goes to the middle, it's going uphill, and then when it gets to the other side, the whole slider starts to slide the other way. And watch, camera moves all on its own. It's because it starts to roll downhill. So that's obviously another problem. So I'm sending it back anyway, but another reason I wouldn't like it is it's all aluminum, and it's what, 40 something inches long. It's pretty heavy. So you throw it on a single tripod, and it's so heavy that as the camera moves from side to side, the whole thing leans each way, which is the downside. Carbon fiber will definitely be lighter, and that's another good thing. And I'm ordering one. The one I ordered isn't this wide. This is too wide for product shots. Might be good for outdoors, I guess. But yeah, 47 inches is way too long. So there you go. So that's the end of this review on the Neewer 47-inch follow focus slider. Bunch of things that I'm not too keen on, even if it came with 4 legs, which it didn't. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If so, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, there's a ton of new things coming up in the near future. Everything from cameras, lenses, computers, iPads, everything. You know, I got a lot on the go. So we'll pump out a bunch of episodes very quickly. So subscribe so you don't miss any of that.